official Carol Shelton
Yes,
glasses going
here we go.
You'll have to tell me where you get those done too. We might want to use some of those for the cafe.
Okay. Yeah.
Sunflower.
For the Sunflower Cafe?
Sunflower Cafe, baby. So here's the tasting room. Yeah, actually we haven't shot this yet. Look at all these awards. I don't have this accurate. Carol can come back and correct me, but my understanding is somewhere along the way I heard that Carol Shelton is the most awarded winemaker in the United States. Is that right, Carol?
That is right.
The most awarded winemaker. Again, my gosh, I'm so humbled to be here right now. This is so awesome.
Thanks. This is the Coquille Blanc. It's a brand new release of 08 white Rhone varietals that are blended together. Coquille is the French word for shell or scallop, and my name is Shelton, and it's in my coat of arms. So we decided to dress up our label and suck the color out of it a little bit and make it a little bit more snooty to go with the French style of the wine. But it's from Paso Robles grapes. It's about half Grenache Blanc and the rest is Viognier and Roussanne. So the Grenache Blanc gives it a very crisp, minerally, grapefruity, citrusy, a little bit of pear maybe, and then the Roussanne gives it more peach, more roundness, more fleshiness.
More body maybe?
Yes,
yeah.
more body, and a little bit of an almond paste character. It's really, really, and as it gets older, that turns into kind of a honeyed almond. It's just amazing. It's watching this grow.
I'm glad you're talking about all the flavor profiles. That's something that a lot of folks are really good at, and I'm still trying to develop being able to pull that out of there. Mm-hmm. So, is this your first white that you made? The first
dry white under my label, yeah.
Okay.
Back in my former days, I made 7 Chardonnays every year, and they all had to be different. So I became a real blending master at making sure that each one in the bottle tastes different. Yeah. So that's how we ended up making only a white blend. I decided I was Chardonnayed out, kind of bored with Chardonnay, and Sauvignon Blanc was a little bit too much of a one-trick pony too. I like the flavors and the food compatibility, and I could just sit and smell this wine for hours. I like all the things that are going on in it. And it's one of those things, if I don't sit and smell it all for hours, I'm going to down the bottle in about 5 minutes, so give me a straw.
So what do you have on the aroma here? What I feel like I get is a little bit sort of a vanilla honey going on.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm right.
Almond, yeah.
Right, I'm getting better.
Almond. Yeah, and there's a nice, like a yellow peach or white peach, that crisper sort of peach nose. Not big, full, fleshy, fat, overripe peach, but a nice, crisp white peach, and almost a nectarine, white nectarine instead of peach, maybe, and some pears, but a little grapefruitiness. You know, there's this Japanese grapefruit called yuzu.
Okay, right.
That has a real pungent floral depth to it. I use that a lot when I make like ahi poke and things like that, and you get it in an Asian grocery store. But this wine just has so much going on. Then when you try it, it's got this silkiness and fleshiness and creaminess, but a nice acid zing, a nice tart little crispness.
My mouth is watering right now.
Go for it.
You got here.
Imagine that with a diver scallop.
Wow.
Grilled diver scallop with a nice lemongrass sauce, beurre blanc, something like that.
This is so unique. So we just talked about your Chardonnay out, you know, Sauvignon Blanc is a one-trick pony. And from my perspective, having a restaurant, having a wine bar, those are obviously the biggest selling wines. Sauvignon Blanc, even Chardonnay.
Pinot Gris maybe.
But right, Pinot Gris, absolutely. So this is so unique. I've had Marsanne Roussanne, you know, by itself. I've had Viognier by itself. To me, they're a little bit too viscous. I really, really like this, and what I like about this is it does have that brightness, that acid that's kind of cutting through. Yeah. Just a little bit of the viscosity from the Viognier and the Roussanne, you said?
Yeah, Roussanne.
Yeah.
And also it was all barrel fermented, but it was all neutral, meaning 3-year-old French oak, and we stirred it about once a week.
Okay.
So that stirring makes the yeast, when they die off, they settle to the bottom of the barrel when they're all done fermenting. And you have to stir that up. That's called the lees, and so it's called sur-lie aging on the lees. And you use a big stirring stick, which I can show you if you're interested. It has a little propeller blade on the bottom, sort of stick it down in the bunghole, stir it all up, and then move on to the next barrel and stir it all up. Quite a labor-intensive process.
And so you call it what?
Sur-lie, S-U-R-L-I-E. Yeah, it looks like Surly, but it's really, and that's French.
That you use that, and that gives you what versus not using it?
It gives you a lot of creaminess, also a lot of good flavor compounds, little nutty, toasty characters from the oak, but it tones down the actual oak character.
Okay.
And so you don't get raw oak. Of course, this wasn't a new oak anyway, but it seems oakier than it should be for 3-year-old French oak because it had this string of all the leaves and the creaminess that got built up,
okay.
and the vanillin. So the barrels were once used or 3 times used by Fiddlehead Cellars, Kathy Joseph. So I know that they were well used.
Can I give a glass to...
Of course.
We always hand a glass to our camera person, that's the audience.
Yeah.
Getting the glass and they can almost feel like they're drinking it at home.
Yeah.
This really is a fantastic white wine. Very unique. And I wonder, do you think there's a change in the industry? Are people looking for wines beyond the norm, you know, beyond what we talked about, the Pinot Gris, the Chard, and the Sauvignon?
Yeah, especially blends. I'm seeing a big trend toward people liking blends. So I've got a blend in the works. Right now we can hardly keep in stock everything we make, but I'm kind of reaching out to try a few new grapes and a few new blending things. And I'm going to put together a little less expensive, maybe $18 red blend. That's my goal right now. Trying to come up with the fancy marketing name and you know what it's going to be called and how to make the price point and all that. So hopefully in the next couple of months I'll get it in the bottle and I'll have it for summer at least.
So this is the Carol Shelton Coquille Blanc. Coquille Blanc,
yeah.
Pardon me. Paso Robles fruit, right? It's all from Paso Robles. 2008. The price point on this, the retail price point on this is $30. And that's a great price. This is just such a well-made wine, very tasty. It's going to go with a lot of shellfish. Would you
Seafood
say?
Risotto.
Seafood risotto.
I made a really good lemongrass soup with rock shrimp.
Okay.
And I was really intimidated by lemongrass. I thought, God, what's this stick going to do? You know, I'm going to taste this in my food and go chomp chomp and hurt my mouth.
Yeah.
But you don't. You cut it in chunks and you kind of slice it down the middle once so the pieces come apart like onion skins, leaves.
Okay.
And then you put it in a pot with white wine and some onion and you boil it down a little bit. Of course, you would not want to boil down my Coquille Blanc, but that's what I had when I made it. And then when it's boiled down, I cut down maybe half and reduced half by volume. Then you put it through, then you add chicken broth, and you cook that for about an hour, and you make sort of like an infusion of lemongrass. Then you take it and you put it through a strainer, so you don't have the big chunks of lemongrass and onion in there. You have kind of a little bit murky, lovely, rich, lemongrassy broth.
Okay.
And you put that with a little bit of cream in the pan. And you could use coconut milk if you wanted to thicken it. But a little bit of cream and a little bit of cornstarch to thicken it just a bit. Then I quickly sauteed some rock shrimp, put them in the bottom of each soup bowl, and poured the soup over the top. It was to die for.
We're going to have that recipe. We're going to have a lemongrass and rock shrimp recipe attached to this video blog for this wine.
I can give it to you.
Absolutely. We'll take that. We'll post that. It'll be really cool for you folks at home. So I love this. This is really nice. And I am not typically a white wine drinker. I'm really, you know what I think, I wrote about this once in one of our blogs. And I think it was when we were growing up, until you really get into wine, you have champagne, and when I had champagne or when I had white wine at home or pink, you know, the white Zinfandel, the white Zinfandel.
Yeah.
It's horrible because probably we're not buying quality product. Since I've gotten into wine, I can really appreciate champagne. I can appreciate the white wine so much more because it's just like anything else. You use a great quality fruit. Start with good ingredients, good quality ingredients, and you treat it with love and care. You know, treat it with a soul and heart, as opposed to just some big no-name, you know, company out there cranking out tons of product. You're putting love into this, and you can really taste it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's only made about 260 cases, so it's about 2/3 gone right now. We only released it November 5th at the Wine and Food Affair. We're
going to make sure to leave some here today. For sure. We're going to have to get a case or at least a few bottles.